This is Jake Tapper channeling a nation's exhaustion with the so-called leadership from the Republican Party. With Trump himself now having contracted the virus, with Chris Christie and Kellyanne Conway and Trump's campaign manager Bill Stepien and his personal assistant Nick Luna, with Republican Senators Mike Lee and Ron Johnson and Tom Tillis, it's not just their policies that are putting people at risk, they themselves have become carriers for the very disease that they've failed to contain. The fact is that every single step of the way, with every single facet of this outbreak, the GOP has mismanaged this crisis to a degree not seen anywhere else on the face of the earth. They followed breathlessly a president who not only downplayed its severity, but admitted to it. He pretended that it was contained, that it would go away on its own. He said that it affects virtually nobody. He not only failed to endorse stay-at-home orders, but fomented protests against them, with tweets saying liberate Michigan and Minnesota and Virginia. And those same protests caused spikes in cases, thereby prolonging the very thing they were protesting against. He got his supporters to push back against the use of masks, the single most effective tool we have at our disposal against the spread of the virus. As recently as this past Tuesday at the presidential debate, Trump literally mocked Joe Biden for wearing a mask. Irony being that Trump may very well have already contracted the virus when he made that comment. And the thing is, we basically expect this from Trump. He's impulsive and lacks judgment and is physically incapable of considering anyone or anything beyond his own grip on power. That's well documented. But what's almost worse is that the rest of his party played along. They promoted his insane and dangerous decrees. They refused to speak out when his decisions put their own constituents' lives in danger. They reopened their states to curry favor with him and hopefully earn themselves a nice little tweet. That's what they traded the lives of thousands of Americans for, the possibility of a tweet. And the situation we've been left with as a result of that speaks for itself. 4% of the world's population and 20% of the world's cases, 210,000 deaths, 8.5% unemployment, 11 million Americans out of a job. We've fared the worst in the world. While most other countries are out of the woods, we're still losing 1,000 people a day. The President of the United States himself has been hospitalized. Republican senators are in quarantine. At some point, someone on the right has to have enough of a spine to be able to acknowledge what the rest of humanity can see plainly, that their strategy is an unmitigated failure. What Republicans don't seem to realize is that this isn't just politics. It's not just sticking by Trump for party unity. These are lives, real lives, that are being lost as a result of this. And when the President of the United States, ostensibly the safest person on the face of the earth, isn't even able to avoid this virus, then clearly no one is safe. That's where we're at under Republican leadership. They have fostered an environment that didn't protect its citizens, it protected the contagion infecting them. We can beg Trump and Republicans to shape up. We can try and appeal to their sense of humanity. We can point at Trump himself sitting in Walter Reed as a wake-up call to alter their strategy and do the right thing. But the simple fact is that if they haven't bothered doing so after more than 200,000 of our fellow Americans dying, then they never will.